There will never be enough of it. There will always be some loophole, some caveat, some group that feels ostracized. And the equality comes from being of service to God, subservient to God. And then he talks about freedom, right? So equality comes from being of service to God. And then he says, here also all men are free. In a social system, I love this. Love this. Here also all men are free. In a social system, men invariably become the slaves of the systems they themselves devise. Isn't that the truth? Only God's higher freedom can detach them from these systems, liberate them from dependence upon other men, and free them from slavery to their own pleasures, indulgences, traditions, willfulness, and deceit. Whew. That's what we all want, isn't it? That feeling of oppression we've sometimes internalized, right? We've become slaves to a mindset. We've become slaves to a cell phone. We've become slaves to social media. We've become slaves to money, to prestige, to our fellow man, right? We need their approval. We need their validation. We need their applause, maybe even their prestige, those 5 Ps, right? We are a slave to our pleasures, our self-indulgences. True freedom comes from being of service to a God of your understanding. Because your selfishness and your self-centeredness and your fear takes a back seat, and suddenly your life changes. And there's just true freedom from those how did he say it? Social systems and self-indulgences that we ourselves have put ourselves in. We've enslaved ourselves to so many things for a false sense of security and equality, guys. What have we been willing to give up for this? It blows my mind. And then the last thing here, as for fraternity, a brotherhood may be closely knit through some common concern or at times menace when some mutual interest is at stake.